You know, one thing I've tried to refrain from doing in my videos is the name calling, you know, mainly because it's Donald Trump's shtick. He loves to call everybody Sleepy Joe and Crooked Hillary. He's got a nickname for everybody. So I've always tried to stay away from that, mainly just because that's how he does it, you know. Don't get me wrong, I've found a whole lot of the names that y'all have came up with for Donald Trump to be hilarious. Don Snorleone and Von Shits and Pants are two of my favorites. I've shared the memes, I find them hilarious. But when I'm making my videos, I just try to stay away from that because that's his act, and I don't want to come off like I'm trying to emulate what it is that he does. So I sort of steer clear of that. But when I saw the name Moscow Marge, I was like, you know, I might just start using that one from now on because that's pretty damn accurate. And when you get done watching these next couple of clips I'm going to show you, you're going to agree it fits her 100%. Take a look at this.
How loud was it?
It was deafening. Imagine walking into an arena where everyone hates you in that moment. And as soon as I rose and started...
So this is like the Christians going into the Colosseum against the Romans.
100%. So as soon as I stood and I started reading the resolution, the boos started. And it may not have sounded that loud on the audio because the microphone was here for me. And that's what was picking up their boos. So I am the loudest voice here. But inside that room, the boos were deafening. I mean, absolutely deafening. That's all I could hear. I couldn't even hear my own self. And so you have to realize in that moment, you're standing in a room where everyone is against you. But I had to keep my mind and know that outside of this city, everyone is with me on this.
Steve Bannon makes me want to throw up. I just really need everyone to know that. Every time I see that guy, every time I hear one word come out of his mouth, I just want to throw up a little bit in my mouth because he's truly pathetic. To sit there and compare her trying to vacate Mike Johnson and the boos she got to the Christians versus the Romans, I mean, they put themselves in that category. They literally view themselves like they're Jesus going to the cross. And it's one of the most despicable things because I promise you, if Jesus came back today, he would have nothing to do with the MAGA party and they would have nothing to do with him. Do you think they would welcome a Middle Eastern Jewish guy with his beliefs that said feed the poor and clothe the naked and give the thirsty something to drink? Do you think that they would ever get behind that kind of idea when he started suddenly saying, love your enemies and love your neighbor? I mean, they would never get behind his shtick. So the fact that they compare themselves to him and the Christians versus the Romans is truly disgusting. But in this next clip, one thing that is kind of fun to watch is Marge turning on Fox News. I always love it when the two bullies go at it. Take a look at this one.
For Fox News that literally fired Tucker Carlson, the #1 cable TV news host in the nation. Tucker, who was basically the voice of everyone. That's the Fox News that refused to cover me calling the motion to vacate. The five never switched gears. They never changed, never went to anything different. Fox News wants to control what Republican voters think, and the control and the information that they give you is the establishment Republican Party view, the Bush view, the Cheney view, the same view that led us into the Iraq War, claiming that there was weapons of mass destruction. They want to make their viewers think that we have to fight for Ukraine, that we have to stop Putin because he's going to steamroll across Europe just like Hitler did, even though there's no evidence of showing that. The same Fox News refuses to say, hey, let's call for peace for these people in Ukraine instead of wiping out an entire generation of Ukrainians. Think about that. This is the same Fox News that wants to infuriate you every single day while Republicans go down to the border, drag out the podium once again, point at, oh, look, they're crossing the border. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. But yet Republicans don't do a damn thing to actually stop it. Nothing.
Did she really just stand there with a straight face and accuse Fox News of trying to infuriate people? I mean, that's the basis of Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's the very core, is to get people riled up. When has Marjorie Taylor Greene ever had a reasonable idea or a reasonable thought? When has she ever tried to reach across the aisle and work with anyone? When has she ever said, well, you know what, I may not agree with this person over here, but I still respect them and we're still going to work together to fix our problems? She's never done that. All she's ever tried to do is get people angry and get people riled up. And then she wants to say that that's what Fox News is about? I mean, pot, meat, kettle. And then she sits there and says that, oh, Tucker Carlson was the voice of everyone. No, he wasn't. I can assure you he was the voice of no one here on this channel and none of the followers we have. He's now a mouthpiece for Putin, and so is Marge when she stands up there and says, oh, there's no evidence that he wants to go through Europe. I mean, she's clearly speaking straight for the Kremlin. So, yeah, Moscow Marge fits. But check out this next clip, because she just continues to double down on how bad Fox News is, and it's pretty entertaining, actually.
We could have stopped it in our appropriations. We could change all kinds of things. We have the Speaker of the House, the most powerful position in the Republican Party, third in line to the president. Third in line to the president. The Speaker can do anything he wants to do if he's willing to do it. But we have a Speaker that's weak, that a man, an 80-year-old man with dementia, is able to fool him. This is where we are. And Fox News wants to make sure that you guys don't have your own opinion, that you only have the opinion that Fox News tells you to have. And that's why Fox News attacks Steve Bannon. That's why Fox News attacks Charlie Kirk. And that's why Fox News would love to murder Tucker Carlson.
You know, the reason she says stuff like that is because they want to make themselves out to be martyrs. They've developed this victimhood mentality that everyone is out to get them, and they're being persecuted, and they're just these, truth tellers that are out there being cut down, and they try to compare themselves to Jesus and Martin Luther King and Gandhi, and it's just so disgusting. The whole act is so disgusting because they're disgusting human beings. They're disgusting people at the end of the day, and they've hijacked Christianity. They've hijacked the American flag. They've hijacked all the things that were once sacred, and they're using them to their advantage. And really, if you read and study the Bible and believe it at all, there's plenty of verses of Scripture that talks about the false prophets in the last days that will do all of that. But is she not the most clueless person you've ever seen in Congress? I mean, I don't know. Her and Lauren Boebert, I'm sure, are always neck and neck to see who could be the most clueless. But to say that Mike Johnson is the Speaker and the Speaker of the House can just do anything he wants. I mean, he's in the same sentence, she said, he's third in line to be president, but he's the most powerful. He can do anything he wants. Okay. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense there, Marge. And then it's hilarious to me how that she doubles down on this idea that Fox is just trying to give you their opinion. Fox only wants you to hear the Bush opinion, the Cheney opinion, the mainstream Republican opinion. Well, that backs up what I've been saying this entire time, which is they're not the Republican Party of our grandfathers. Hell, they ain't even the Republican Party of Bush and Cheney anymore, and they're saying it out loud. They're just going for it. They are... And there's nothing conservative about them either, by the way, really, at the end of the day. They are just this extreme fringe group that has took hold with people who knows nothing about how government works, but who are angry and resentful and wants to blame everyone else for their problems. When I was growing up, both grandfathers was Republicans. Both of them, talked about responsibility and accountability. I heard the phrase, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, when I was growing up. But that's not the Republican Party anymore. It's poor, pitiful me. It's I'm a victim. Everyone's out to get me. I'm being silenced. No, it's just your ideas are ancient. And no one wants to take our country back to the place you want to go. When the Charlie Kirks of the world stands up and says, oh yeah, I'd like to go back to the 50s. And by the way, he was born in 93, but he wants to go back to the 50s. When they say that, they want to go back to a time when only white men talked and everyone else stayed out of their way. That's basically it. That is the type of people that MAGA has drawn in. And you know what? I hope this makes sense, but at the end of the day, I kind of blame the old school Republican Party. I mean, because they just never could come up with any new ideas. They had, the only ideas they ever had was to tear down something a progressive or a Democrat put in place. So they kind of did this to themselves because people begin to see, you know what? There's no ideas there. There's no substance. So then they just latched onto this hatred and resentment and this party of cruelty. They just brought cruelty out and made it a centerpiece in their act. And, if the Republican Party had been a party that was for working people and had been a party that was for everybody and was inclusive to everybody and had other people's best interests at heart other than just the top 1%, then MAGA may have never been born to start with. And that's something I think about a whole lot, is the fact that they couldn't deliver on anything, and Donald Trump came along and he pounced on that fringe. He pounced on those people that he can use and manipulate. And at the end of the day, these people that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Steve Bannon are standing there talking to are the most easily led, easily manipulated people. They'll turn around and call us snowflakes. They'll turn around and say all those things about us. Again, it's just projection as to who they really are. But yeah, the more I watch her, the more I realize Moscow Marge, it fits her to a T.